Welcome and thank you for joining us. This session is focused on promoting mindfulness in an online environment. We want to let you know a couple of things before we begin. First, you are in a listen-only mode. This is to preserve the sound quality of the session, so you will not be able to speak, only the host of the session. There are several interactive opportunities that we encourage you to participate in, including a poll at the end of the session. You're able to ask questions and interact using the chat or the Q&A. To be able to interact with everyone, make sure you select all panelists and attendees when chatting. After the session, you will receive a certificate for your records for attending. Additionally, we are recording the session and a copy will go out to all registrants, even if they didn't attend, approximately 24 hours from now. However, those that didn't attend live will not receive their certificate for attending. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce your webinar host, Crystal Newman, Assistant Provost of Business Professions at American College of Education.
Hi, and thank you for that lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Crystal Newman. So I am the Assistant Provost for Business Professions here at the American College of Education. And I am also a certified hypnotherapist, which should be no surprise to anyone here at ACE in terms of my heavy involvement in promoting mindfulness practice here at the college. So welcome to my presentation on promoting mindfulness in the online environment. And I think that this topic is quite relevant given everything that is happening in the world right now with the pandemic and the push to moving everyone in a remote space, as well as trying not to panic too much during this time and trying to be a lot more mindful and stress-free. So thank you for attending, everyone. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my slide here going. Okay, all right, so these are the objectives for today and some things that I wanted to go over. So first, kind of go over in terms of why a virtual mindfulness group was created here at the college and tell you a little bit about how to create one yourselves within your organization, as well as identify the benefits of participating and being in a mindfulness group. And at the very end, what we'll do is we'll go over what it is like to experience a mindful meditation at ACE within our group. But before we get into it a little bit further, when you think of mindfulness and you think of the word, what types of activities come to mind? And you can go ahead and type into the chat box, or you can also put your answer into the Q&A.
Crystal, we've got some really great things coming up in the chat box. People are talking about breathing, being engaged, running, being present and still. So lots of great conversation there and suggestions on just what mindfulness might mean to people.
Wonderful. And thank you all for kind of thinking it over and sharing your thoughts and your answers on this. And everybody is giving a really great answer and everything is correct. So here are some examples that I came up with on my own in terms of what some mindful practices can include. So one of them came up in terms of deep breathing. So not necessarily meditating yourselves, but just having those deep breaths in and out and literally just concentrating on your breath work. Coloring is another thing that has come up quite recently as a trend. And I know that there's various adult coloring books out there ranging from coloring your own garden. I've seen some like ones about rock and roll and different other kind of humorous topics as well. Intentionally being aware and being present was another answer that came up. So yes, that can include just sitting in a space and being aware of the noises, or even going outside and listening to children's laughter in the playground, or listening to the cars that go by, listening to birds chirp, or just paying attention, and things of that nature. Meditation is a common one that usually comes up when people think about mindful practices. Those who like to take more of a physical route also might include things like yoga, or even walking. Sitting outside in nature could be one. But given all of the examples that you have come up with and the ones that I just kind of came up with on the top of my head, just know that there's not a one size fits all, and it may not always be for everyone. So for example, I cannot color because I would focus too much on getting it to look perfect, and then it probably would stress me out more than make me more mindful. So that's why for me, breath work or meditation work better for me. But again, some people have told me, well, Crystal, I cannot meditate to save my life. I cannot get my mind to be quiet. So that could be one thing, but for them, maybe the walking or yoga would be better. So I would, try a little bit of everything, see what works best for you. And if one thing doesn't work out, that's okay. You can move on to the next version, or the next thing that you might be able to think of. But like everything, practice makes perfect if you like, but do what works best for you. Do what makes you feel the most comfortable. So why create a virtual mindfulness group? All right, so I'm going to share these funny pictures and what it's like to work from home, or what people might think. So when I tell my friends that I work remotely, they tend to think that I just watch Netflix in the background while I'm doing my work. And that's a nice thought, but that's not at all what happens. My mom thinks that I'm a superhero. Society might think that I'm working from home in my pajamas all day long with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in my hand. My boss may think that I'm just having a picnic with my family and enjoying everybody. I tend to think that I'm a business professional helping to run a successful organization. But what I actually do, despite all of the humor and the funniness, is I can tend to get stressed out sometimes because I'm multitasking. I'm listening in on meetings, taking part in those meetings, making calls, checking emails, trying to stay on top of everything. And it can be quite stressful, especially right now, since at the same time that I'm doing all of my work and multitasking, I have kids at home that have to do e-learning. And I know that I'm not the only one who is in that boat. So I know that everybody's lives has gotten a little bit different. So it may feel quite the same for you. So given, the multitasking, we created the meditation practices to increase that and to decrease the stress. Because oftentimes you can think of, oh, I have this one more thing to do. I'm looking at my calendar and I have all these meetings, or I have these grades to do. They're due today or they're due tomorrow. And just always thinking about the next thing to do and creating that stressful environment for yourself. And that's not good. So instead, we promote positive psychology. And what that means is instead of saying, I have to, and creating that stress, it's more about, I can and I will, and changing things into a much more positive light, which again goes back into decreasing that stress. So as we thought about all of those things, we went into the creation station and talked about meeting and meditating. So to do that in a very simple way, we thought, let's create a weekly Zoom meeting meditation. And so it looks kind of like a lot like what we're doing now in terms of sharing a screen, doing it on Zoom. And it's for 15 minutes once a week. And we chose Wednesdays as a day of the week to meditate at the same time. So everybody has 15 minutes on their calendar. Everyone has 15 minutes to spend for themselves as well. So it's not like we're meditating for hours on end or anything. Everyone has 15 minutes to shut things down, shut your brain off, and just try to meditate. And some of the things that we've used are the Calm app, as well as Gaia, And since I am a certified hypnotherapist, I've also done some recordings and music in the background, giving some guided meditations. So the Calm app, there's a free version, or there's the subscriptions as well. And I think they have like a free trial as well. But if you prefer not to go with anything that is subscription based, then you can certainly create your own scripts. Or if you prefer not to, then there are some other ones out there on YouTube. And again, you can just share your screen and have everyone meditate at the same time. And again, it's a very simple and a very effective way to get everyone together, as well as, again, just 15 minutes, shut things down and breathe, or just try to relax on the guided meditation. Also, a part of the creation station was read and write. So we would read and write a mindfulness article every month for the faculty newsletter. And we came up with various topics and themes for the past couple years. And this example here on the screen was written by someone who chose to use some references. So it doesn't always have to be researched and referenced, but you can also, do something where you're sharing best practices, sharing some tips and ideas with each other, as well as offering your very own reflections for the week or the month, whatever that has kind of come to your mind as maybe an aha moment or something that you do. So again, it doesn't have to be so formalized in this way, but that's just one example. Also in the creation station, we use goal setting. So we try to put Manic Mondays on strike. So instead of creating that kind of stressful environment for ourselves that we tend to create for ourselves, again, we're sharing these mindful research tips and sharing articles. And one member recently talked about a positive psychology course from Coursera, and lots of different examples can come up. So when you're not the one who's always looking, there's always a member who's going to have a great idea to share. We also had something called Ready, Set, Goal, in which we set goals for ourselves on how to be more mindful. So one example that a person offered was that they were going to listen and pay more attention of the noises around them, as well as listening and working towards their own breath work. Another one was about listening to their body. And when they needed a break, they would take a break. When they're hungry, they would snack or eat something. Because this person mentioned that they often thought about, okay, one more email, I'm going to get through one more task, I'm going to get through one more thing. But eventually they would add those tasks to their list to the point that they would forget to eat, or they would forget to just take a break. So they also mentioned that they would take one more mindfulness moment instead. And then another member mentioned something about centering around balance and getting into their fitness routine, which for them was a non-negotiable, because for them, by being in a fitness routine, it helped them in relieving stress and better managing their stress as well. So here are some benefits of the group. So one person mentioned that they learned how to meditate. So it kind of goes back to what I mentioned at the very beginning, in that I've been told that people cannot calm their minds, or they just can't do it. But the more that you practice something, the more that you get better at it. So then, of course, next would be practicing and calming the mind. And also, as you calm your mind, you learn how to regulate your own stress and know what triggers you and talk them down. So then you will also benefit by decreasing your own work-related stress. And for me, a major benefit is that I get to stop checking my emails for 15 minutes because I know I'm one of those folks that there's always something going on. There's always a question or something of clarification that comes through. So for 15 minutes, just shut your Outlook, your email inbox, and meditate. And again, all of these help you in terms of learning how to balance your work and life. and practicing to do that better. So at this point, I'll open for questions or see if there's any questions or comments at this time.
Crystal, it looked like someone just asked if they would have the recording at a later date because they entered late, and I said yes, it will be sent out. But other than that, it doesn't look like there are any questions right now.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'll keep moving forward. All right, so these are our mindfulness group outcomes. So we started at the end of 2017, and the mindful members, these are basically the folks who receive our RSS feeds. So meaning that they'll receive information about the tips that are shared, the research, and things of that nature. It has steadily increased over the past couple of years. And our average meditation attendance started with 4 people at the end of 2017. And that is also something that is slowly but steadily increasing. So at the end of last year, we more than doubled at 9 people. And I would say that right now in 2020, we're closer to about 12 people. So I'm seeing that as something positive where we are growing in numbers, but also seeing it as where folks are really putting mindfulness and meditation as a priority or something that they want to practice and learn more about as well. And some of our group members have shared some really positive things to say, stating that they've learned to prioritize their work-life balance. They've learned how to meditate and feel calmer and more relaxed.
I think I had that. How did I?
So I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone in just a few seconds. On the next slide, what we're going to do is experience a meditation practice. So go ahead and get yourselves in a comfortable position. And this is something that we've actually done within our own ACE mindfulness group. So you get a nice little kind of sneak preview of what we do every single week. So I'll go ahead and mute myself. And again, make sure that you are in a comfortable position so that you can meditate for about 13 minutes.
Separate your hands and feet and put your back into a comfortable position that it can stay in for a long period of time. Close your eyes and allow yourself to imagine a safe place in nature where you've been before or plan to be in the future. Or you may just create it within yourself. Brighten up the color and notice how clear it is and how good it feels to be there. Notice the things are moving about and how peaceful and wonderful the mood is. Hear the sounds of nature now as they get a little louder. You may feel the warmth of the light in the sky and the coolness of a gentle breeze. There may be a familiar scent in the air, a few clouds drifting gently across the sky, a sky that goes on forever, and a bright light that reaches you, shining down between the clouds, allowing you to feel warm and relaxed. This light stands for everything that's good in life, such as love, peace, serenity, tranquility, and pure relaxation. Allow the white light to continue to flow through the elbows, wrists, and out the fingers. You may notice a tingling sensation in the hands, which further shows you're beginning to relax as the bodily functions are slowing down. The breathing becomes a shade deeper. With each more relaxing breath, feel the body rest more firmly as the white light flows down through the back. All the muscles and tendons wrapped around the vertebrae unwind, and the back settles into its natural position automatically. The light flows through the waist, knees, ankles, and out through the toes, pushing out all stress, concerns, worries, in the form of tension or tightness, which may have been locked up in the body and are useless to us now. Feel the nerves dimming, like dimming the lights. And with each beat of the heart, which you are naturally more in touch with as you become more relaxed in this way, allow yourself to go deeper into relaxation. Feel all the muscles and tendons droop and hang on the bone structure, loose and limp. And now, with each breath that you take, allow yourself to become more deeply relaxed. Simply deeper with each breath. Inhaling the light of relaxation and exhaling any tensions or tightness so that you may go deeper, deeper, and even deeper. Imagine that you are floating toward your deepest level of relaxation. Because you know where that deepest level is, you will simply feel yourself float there when I count from 1 to 5. 1, floating. 2, farther. 3, more relaxed. 4, deeper. And 5, deeply relaxed. One of the things you will train your subconscious mind to do in the days ahead is how to release stress. Stress comes from the conscious mind focusing itself on stress rehearsal. Stress rehearsal is a stressful situation from the past or one you may encounter in the future. It's a natural process so that you may reach resolution, but unnecessary stress comes from too much stress rehearsal. When too much stress rehearsal occurs, you may start to drain your energy, worry, encounter self-doubt, and so on. You are going to stop this overuse of stress rehearsal by making a promise to yourself. You will only give a stressful thought a short period of time. This time period may be 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe even up to 15 minutes sometimes. But you will never exceed the time period you promise yourself. You will only think of stresses for a very short period of time, reaching at least a temporary resolution. And then you think of something else you'd rather do or you'd rather think about. You begin to say to yourself, "That's enough." You find the positive learning lesson from the stressful thought. Give yourself some credit for finding value in it, and you focus on something more positive. You focus on something else that makes you feel good about yourself, feel good about your life. You begin to notice that you closed down negative thinking earlier, and you begin to focus on positive thinking. You use your think time more wisely with positive outcome thinking. You gave stressful thinking enough time. Now you will simply change the channel of the mind, like changing the channel on a TV set, moving forward to something more interesting and more relaxing that you can focus on. Once the channel of the mind changes, you are done with your previous thoughts and you move on. You move on to the next thing. If any mind racing or anxiety in the body happens again at any time in the future, you will forcefully tell it to stop. Quit that channel and change the frequency of the mind to something else, and the body will respond. The body will respond with natural, easy relaxation. You have other things you'd rather do or think about in the future. Your focus is more positive now. You are only allowed a very short period of time for anxious thinking. Reach at least a temporary resolution and move on with your thoughts. Move on with your life. Because of this ability, you have a new lease on life. Positive messages about yourself and your world will enter into your mind more frequently during your waking hours. Even in your dreams, there will be more positive outcomes. You will sleep better. You will dream better. You will release the things that you cannot immediately change. You will move your focus away from the things you have no control over, and instead focus on the things that you do have control over. You now have control over your mind, your anxiety. You can stop it and focus on more productive things. You have a higher self-image and higher self-esteem. You truly feel more positive about yourself and about the world in which you live. You look at things with a greater amount of faith that everything has a reason, and it will all work out in the end. You feel a higher force at work in your life, spiritually, which also facilitates the amount of faith you have. You make a difference in the areas you can, and you release the rest. You feel more relaxed each and every day this way. You feel wonderful now. Self-empowered, more self-control. Everything seems to work out more naturally during the course of life now. You're living more peacefully and naturally. You're relaxed now, more often, a much more relaxed person. And now I'm going to count back from 5 to 1. And when I reach the number 1, you can then normalize. 5. You'll remember everything you have experienced. 4. Very satisfied with releasing the stress and replacing it with more relaxation. 3. More in touch with the room around you. 2. The mind and the body are returning back toward normal. When you imagine the number 1 in your mind's eye, within the next minute, you'll become wide awake, refreshed, and feeling good.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope that this meditation makes you feel, first of all, a lot less stressed and that you feel better, to continue your day with. Otherwise, that what you just experienced was basically something that we do again on a weekly basis here at ACE in our own mindfulness practice. So I will go ahead and open it up for any questions that you might have.
Crystal, someone asked,
Separate your hands and feet and put your back into a comfortable position that it can stay in for a long period of time. Separate your hands, close your eyes, and allow yourself to imagine a safe place.
That's totally fine, Crystal. Someone asked, has anyone had an experience working with students using this?
Yes, that's a great question. So that is something that we very recently started doing this month, where student services are hosting those sessions with our ACE students.
And it doesn't look like there are any other questions, but everybody seems to really love your voice, and that was very relaxing.
Oh, well, thank you.
Someone said their school participates in mindful music moments.
Oh, I love that. That sounds like it would be very interesting. And I would definitely participate in that as well.
Dolores says, I have used breathing with my students in the library, a short breathing activity when they come to me. Cosmic yoga for the kids.
Oh, I love all of those ideas. So I think that just kind of goes to show that you can do more than just, I don't want to say just, but like other types of mindfulness. And it doesn't have to be just meditation, but this is kind of one of the avenues that we use here. But I like hearing these ideas because I think it's something that maybe we can do here at ACE in the very near future as well, too.
Lots of awesome thoughts. This creates a good environment and could be good to use to get the students to relax, definitely. And someone said they use yoga in their center. And another said, I also have a colleague that uses in her 5th grade classroom with other mindfulness activities. I would definitely think that with how, busy children's lives are these days, that mindfulness would definitely be very helpful.
Agreed, because I think now, especially, I mean, I have kids and I feel like there's a lot more distractions now than when I was growing up as a kid. So it is very important to be mindful and to take a step back from that and learn how to recenter yourself.
Crystal, Amy asked, do you do this weekly with your mindfulness group? Is it a particular time and is it open to everyone?
Oh, yes. So it is open to everyone. We do this on a weekly basis. We have it on every single Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at this point, it seems to be a time that works for everybody. We've sent out like some polls to see if another time or date would work better, but it seems to be that Wednesdays are the prime time for us.
Dawn asks, how often do you suggest this practice? Once a day? ?
If I were to have things my way, I of course would do it once a day at least, personally for myself, and that is what I do at least once a day. But to promote it within a group, I know that sometimes it's difficult to get everybody on a same schedule or to see when everyone is available. So we have toyed with the idea of doing this twice a week. We just haven't gotten there just yet. And it's something that we will potentially pilot again in the future. But I would, at a minimum, just recommend once a week to just kind of get everybody into the routine and into the rhythm. And then if you can increase that, I think the more the better. But again, it doesn't have to be for several hours. If just 15 minutes, I think that makes a huge difference.
Krista had a really great idea. She said, I have created a coping, calming, and check-in website for her kiddos.
Oh, I love it.
And then Claudia said for her kindergartners, they do a 1-minute meditation after recess when they're super hyper.
Oh, I think that would help to get everybody kind of in that more of a learning space.
Teresa said, I put on meditational music during rest time. I would be afraid I would definitely fall asleep. Since Calm was free for teachers, I was able to get that app. Oh,
perfect.
Did you know that was free for teachers? Okay. I work in an urban setting with 12th graders with disabilities, and they love the different meditations and ask for them when they're feeling stressed when they walk in from lunch during the 4th Bell ELA class.
Absolutely. I think, so we use it here too, because they have a lot of different meditations. They have things like for stress relief. They have things for gratitude as well as body scans. So yeah, I mean, I can't say enough great things about those different types of apps where there's just a variety to kind of pick and choose from.
I am assuming that people can do this on their own, is one question.
Absolutely. So like I mentioned, it's something that I do on my own once a day. But if you can promote it for everyone else to try it at the same time, that would be great. But yeah, I definitely recommend once a day on your own when you can.
Brooke asked, are there any recommendations, best practices for kids, frequency, duration, the type of environment?
Yeah, so I think playing the mindful music is a great idea. I think that sometimes, having these types of apps and asking everyone just to either close their eyes or pay attention would be helpful as well. What I've done in person with other groups is we've done mindful walks where it's just like just literally going out for a little bit, So it's not like boisterous or anything like that, but it's supposed to be one of those mindful ones where you're just kind of paying attention to every step that you take, paying attention to what's around you and your surroundings. And then hopefully everyone feels rested, but I think it also depends on the age group in terms of what you want to apply. And like I mentioned at the beginning, coloring is another one that I think for the kiddos, they might be interested in that too, or for all ages.
Kathy asked, do you think that the amount of time should be increased gradually? She doesn't think her students would be able to hang in for the full 15 minutes at the start.
Yeah, so what I like about some of those meditations on, whether it's YouTube or anything else, they have 5-minute ones. So it is definitely something worth looking into to see if you can gradually increase it. So yeah, I agree. 15 minutes may be a bit long for some. So you could probably start off at something like 5 minutes and then increase it gradually to something closer to 10 minutes and then see if you can, if they're still great with that, then experiment a little bit with trying towards the 15-minute mark.
There are a lot of really good ideas from everyone in the chat. I'm not going to read them all, but there are some really awesome things if you want to read from your peers. But does anyone else have any other questions for Crystal? Again, another really good suggestion in the chat. I only have the kids for 45 minutes, so I try to keep 5 minutes to teach content too.
Yeah, that would be a good idea then. Yeah, so essentially I would just recommend for anyone, see what works for you. Like I shared at the very beginning, it's not a one-size-fits-all model. See how long you can do it, see what type of mindfulness practice you can implement. Try different things and see what really sticks. But I think the importance is, with just trying to be mindful, like I mentioned, there's lots of great benefits and lots of great research out there on why you should be doing it.
Crystal, like I mentioned before, they really enjoy your voice.
Wonderful, thank you.
Person asked, how can we get your meditation mindfulness practices, or do you have any YouTube channels that you prefer?
Oh, that's flattering. I don't have any YouTube videos or anything like that I've done, but thanks. I could send out recordings if you'd like, but I think for me, it just depends. I am a person who, when I go like searching on YouTube, I like to listen to certain sounds, and then some days I change it up and I'm like, oh, I want to listen to a didgeridoo sound over drumming or something. So I think it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, and see what works best for you.
Not everyone is replying to all attendees, so you can't see everything in the chat if you are an attendee, so I'll just go ahead and read those. Someone said they enjoy listening to the LeBron James on the Calm app. When their students come in, they line up and have a stretch and breathe, and just taking some minutes to transition, especially for high school kids, it helps. And then someone else said there's a Chrome extension called Mindful Break that you can personalize for time taking away from your computer. Really awesome ideas. Alrighty, does anyone else have any more questions for Crystal? All right, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and pop open a poll. This is just for us to get an idea of if you have any future topic suggestions that for our future Digital Toolbox series topics. And so there are a few questions here. If you wouldn't mind making a vote I'm going to leave the chat open in case you have any more questions for Crystal while we're doing the poll. But you can choose multiple, and these will be very helpful for us in choosing the topics moving forward.
Yeah, otherwise I just wanted to take a moment to really thank everyone for coming to this presentation. It warms my heart that you not only got to experience a nice mindfulness meditation, but that you made time out of your schedules to come and attend. Again, I very much thank you. You've been a wonderful audience, and I hope that not only were you relaxed at the end of it all, but that you were able to learn something and get some ideas to implement into your own classrooms or just in your own daily lives. So thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of this.
Okay. On behalf of the American College of Education, we would just like to thank you for joining us. Like I said, I triggered a poll. If you haven't seen it, please take a look. That would be very helpful for us in choosing topics moving forward. Our next session is the instructor's presence in the online classroom, being student-centered and supported. That's on May 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you'd like to attend any other sessions with different topics, again, be sure to complete the poll. I'll leave it open for just a few more moments, and after completing the poll, you're welcome to log off. Thank you very much. Looks like everyone has voted. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and end the meeting. We hope to see you next week for the next session, and keep a lookout for our invites for future sessions. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.